So hello and welcome to the very first episode of the Visual Basic programming series. And in this episode, we are going to be looking at everything and anything to do with Visual Basic for your 9618 practical examination. So maybe let's actually just go ahead and look at Visual Basic and maybe just discuss or point out some important things that pertain to the Visual Basic syntax. So you realize that Visual Basic is an object-oriented programming, or it follows the OOP paradigm to programming. So this is to say that for the most part, Visual Basic is concerned with the creation of objects, of classes and objects, is it? And this is a bit different from procedural programming, rather not procedural programming, but imperative programming, whereby you are simply going to write a program taking following a top-down approach, is it? So with Visual Basic, you can actually create classes, as I did allude to earlier, and with these classes you can then instantiate objects, and these objects can interact with each other. So I think maybe we'll be looking more at this object-oriented programming paradigm later on as we progress with the tutorials. But maybe what I want to point out in this particular episode is the syntax of Visual Basic. So you realize that Visual Basic, like any other programming language, is going to be composed of keywords, is it? So these keywords basically are what we use to write our VB programs, right? So an example of a keyword would be, let's say sub. Sub is a keyword in Visual Basic, is it? And since we are using an IDE, that is an integrated development environment, in this particular instance I'm using Microsoft Visual Studio 2022, the Community Edition 1. But of course you could be using anything that you prefer. It might not be Visual Studio. I might be using something else entirely different, or you might be using a different version altogether. But nonetheless, I would highly encourage, or I highly recommend that you make use of an IDE, so that you simplify the development process, as it were. Because, like for instance, if we were to write the keyword sub in Visual Studio, you'd realize that it gives us the syntax highlighting, is it? So basically, keywords are going to be highlighted in blue, whilst the non-keywords, if I should say, are going to be in a different color, depending on the situation. So yeah, Visual Basic utilizes keywords to write programs. Then another thing that I want to point out is the use of components. So components are basically the building blocks of our programs. So you find out that in order for you to throw up to put together a program that that adds two numbers, for instance, right? You're going to be making use of the keywords, and these keywords you need to make use. You need to form what you call components in Visual Basic, and these components they have to follow a particular syntax in order for you to actually achieve what you're trying to achieve with your program. So in essence, we have two types of components. We have parent components and we have child components. So we'll be talking more about parent components. Rather, we'll be looking at these in more detail as we progress with the tutorial. But you maybe just to point out quickly, a parent component is going to encapsulate other components, whilst a child component can be encapsulated within other components. And it's important to realize that a child component can also be a parent component when it encapsulates other components within it. Maybe we'll actually look at an example just towards the end of the video. Then Visual Basic also utilizes indentation to show belonging. So if you recall from pseudocode, you realize that we use indentation to show belonging. And in much the same way we use indentation to show belonging, we do the same thing in Visual Basic, just like Python, is it? To group your components, as it, we are going to make use of indentation. Then another important thing to realize in Visual Basic is identifiers. So identifiers are going to be the names that you are going to give to your subroutines, and you're going to be giving them also to your variable names, pretty much constants, constants, variables, and subroutines, is it? So the names of those things, we call those identifiers. And it's important to realize that a subroutine or a variable or a constant cannot use a reserved keyword as its identifier. So for instance, we did say that sub is a keyword in Visual Basic, right? So this basically means that you cannot use sub as a variable name for your program. Then maybe let's actually just quickly put together a program that's going to demonstrate some of these concepts. So I'm going to declare a module. I'm going to create a module called program. Then remember, we say that modules are basically, components, right? Are the essence of, are the building blocks of VB. So you realize that at the moment that I typed module and I press enter on my keyboard, you should see that I was given it did complete the code for me, right? One of the benefits of using an IDE. So when you open a module, which is a parent component, right, you have to close the module. So you see this often in VB, that when you open a component, you have to close it in order for you to actually put together your code that conforms to the syntax of the language. So then in this particular instance, you see the syntax highlighting taking effect. You see that module and end module, these are VB keywords, is it? So these keywords, they have that darker shade of blue. But if you look at program, it has that kind of greenish blue, if I should say. So it just goes on to show that this is not necessarily a keyword, but it's an identifier. Then inside of the module component, we can actually put a child component. Maybe let's actually declare a subroutine, and we're going to call it main. Then now once I hit enter, you realize that it closes the subroutine for me. So it puts the end sub keyword as it were. So in this particular instance, module is a parent component and sub is a child component to the module component, is it? And I want you to take note of the indentation that I did allude to earlier. You can see that sub has been indented by about 4 spaces, or a single tab within the module parent component, is it? So this way it's going to it shows that sub belongs to the module component, and sub can actually have other components are built within it, or in this particular instance they are going to be expressions. So what we can do inside of sub, we can indent by 1 space within sub, that is to say, then two tabs from the module, from where module begins. Then we simply want to console dot write line. Then we simply want to print something else, something right here. Maybe let's say our first, well, rather let's just go with tradition. The first program that you write with any language, in any language rather, is the hello world program. So let's actually go ahead and create the world. So hello world with an exclamation mark. Then one more thing that I forgot to include here inside of main is that I have to define parameters for my main method in the event that I want to pass command line arguments when I write my program. So the way I can go about it is I will give an identifier for my array. Then I'm going to declare it as a string array, is it? So that's how you declare a string array in Visual Basic. So yeah, this is the program that here's all the few things that we did point out pertaining Visual Basic programming. And maybe let's actually just go ahead and run this. We'll quickly press on the play button there. Then it's going to compile the program, because remember Visual Basic is a compiled language, and we should get the output which says hello world. So there's the output. This is the output hello world, so you can ignore everything else that comes after that one. After the hello world, it's got nothing to do with the program, but right here is where we have our code, or rather our output for the code that we just wrote. So yeah, we've actually successfully written and compiled our very first Visual Basic program. Yeah, I think that's just about it for this tutorial. I'll see you in the next one.